Hi, my name is Abby Gomez. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. I've lived here for about 3 years with my husband and my daughter. We came from Fort Drum, New York, and we moved here. We have about 1 year left. I'm going to be giving an interview on the dispositions of education and teaching. I believe that the positions that I possess that will make me a successful teacher are that educators should believe that all students can learn and set and support realistic expectations for student success. I think one of the most important goals as a teacher is to set up a specific plan for each student to make sure that they reach their ultimate goal. When I was in high school, there was multiple programs such as BOCES set up for students who wanted to be mechanics, or I lived in a really in the woods type of place, so there was a forestry job that you could get certified in school, or computers, which my brother did, and he continued on to high school, to college as well. But he had a lot of certifications that he could have used in a career out of high school. So I really think that it is important that if college is not the next step, that you give students the right pathways that they want to take the next step, and maybe gearing their education within the school system that they have to be in, that it sets them up for their type of success instead of maybe like the state standard set of tests. Because like I said, where I grew up, college was the only answer for me. And my husband being in the military, that never was even a thing at my school. No one came to talk to us about joining. There was just never really any other choice unless you wanted to do like a trade school, or go to college. Like, there really wasn't many options given to us. So I think that that's really important. And knowing all the avenues and all those avenues that you can even start taking while still in high school. And it's important for teachers to give them those avenues. Another that I believe will make me a successful teacher rather, is being sensitive to learning of social needs of students and embrace cultural diversity of a community. I grew up in a town full of 100% white Caucasian people, and I didn't think that I was getting a full grasp on concepts. I felt very close-minded. Even though I would read and research on things, I still felt like I was too opinionated about things. And when I went to Europe, it really made me immersify myself into so many different cultures that I realized that I had been limiting myself to so many other different peoples and ways of life just because I didn't know about them. And so, with exploring that and learning that, it really has been a driving factor in why I want to instill that in students today and make sure that their identity is something that they're appreciated, and that their specific way of learning is still a way of learning, and that it needs to be noticed and given the tools to apply it to themselves so that they can learn and be the best version of themselves to support themselves after we give them to the real world. Some things that I think I need to work on, though, since I am just 2 years gapped between my graduate school and undergrad, I haven't had much experience. After I graduated, I moved up to Alaska and had my baby, so I've been taking some time off, so I haven't had that experience. So I think that educators should recognize that reflection combined with experience leads to growth as a professional. And though I think that I've immersed myself into a lot of different learning avenues, I haven't been the one teaching as much. So I think that once I get those skills and develop them with other students and other teachers, and like learning from them and gaining experience through trial and error and lessons and failing and learning lessons from failing, I think that that will really benefit me long term, especially in my first years teaching and taking constructive criticism, as well as teachers understand the impact of community and involvement in leadership as it applies to the welfare of others in educational settings. I think that just comes with the experience as well, like learning how to involve parents, involve community, involve everyone in the area to make sure that the students' overall success is what they need to have. And lastly, what does professional educator look like and how do they behave? I think it's just being a very selfless and empathetic person and making sure that your students' ultimate success is their success, and in turn it will become your success. Because if students are learning in a way that doesn't fit them, or they're going to a goal that isn't realistic to them, or that isn't their goal, then what's the point? Because the ultimate point of being a teacher and school is to set them up academically as well as creatively and socially, to put them in an environment after high school that sets them up for ultimate success and to be a beneficial contribution to our society. So there is a lot of pressure riding on educators, but I think that if we can set that up for that behavior and that mentality and create like a poised professional environment and an equal respectful environment for both teachers and students, each person's success will create each other's success, if that makes sense. That, like, because students need the success of their educators to help them long term, but educators really don't succeed if they don't get this the benefits of their students' success. So I think that the whole environment depends on one another, and in order to have good students, we need to have good educators, and I hope that by instilling these ethics that we can continue to be good educators.